Alrighty, another thing I quickly wanted to install is I got one of these mounts for my phone, and I want to hang it up in here so I can get some drive-by footage of when we go on drives. Let's go ahead and quickly put this on. And there we go. I have fully installed my camera mount for my phone, so I can record while I drive, and you guys will have a better view. To fix the grounding issue that I had with the engine and the grounds existing, I think there's one on this side, one on the other side, and one between the intake manifold and the engine. Went ahead and bought some real grounding straps. I think the problem is that I didn't ground the surface of the paint before putting these on, so it was probably restricting the voltage. Let's go ahead and put these ones on. Alrighty, so I just went ahead and installed the new straps. You can see them right here, instead of the old blue ones. Originally the setup was, I'll go ahead and point, I had one blue strap going from here to that corroded point right there, and I replaced that with just this one here, and I went ahead and grounded down the metal a little bit underneath that. You guys can see it just so it sticks. And then this one here was ran all the way through the back to this side over there. You can see the corrosion. And what I did is I just replaced it with this one, and I'm now just running it simply here and just grounding it in the same place. So hopefully I don't have any issues. Originally when I did do the swap, I had a lot of engine and grounding issues, and the grounds were at fault, so hopefully it doesn't bite me again. Now this just showed up in the mail. And you guys didn't know, this is the evaporator core for the Miata. I went ahead and I already took out the evaporator box as I showed earlier, and this is the old one here. I'm still waiting on the valve and everything, but what I can do in the meantime is go ahead and take this apart. And I'm going to take this opportunity to make a video on teaching people how to rebuild the evaporator core so you guys can have a new one. And the cost for that part, well, I got it on Amazon, was like $45. You could also find them on Rock Auto. They have 3 of them between $45 and $60 if anyone's interested. And I bought the new expansion valve and all the other parts, and I think another $50 to $60 for all the other parts that I'm going to need to fully rebuild the AC system. I am reusing the lines, reusing the box, and I do have the refreshed AC compressor here. So let's go ahead and let's take this apart. To start off, we're just gonna pop these clips, and what I like to do is I'll wedge a flathead behind it. Here, I'll show you. Alrighty, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna pop this box open, and what I like to do is I like to grab a flathead and go in these little clips, just stick it in there like that, and the clips pop out easily. So let's go ahead and let's do it to all of them. This is the old evaporator core box, and that's what the heart of it looks like. And we're gonna go ahead and also replace the expansion valve in there while we're at it. I'm gonna show you guys how to take this apart. Let's do it. Alrighty, so here I've taken out all the clips. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna take the screw here, and right here off using a Phillips. Also go ahead and take off these 2 Phillips. I only have one here, but take both out. And now that you've fully taken it out, let's go ahead and slide this off. And just so you guys know, I did restore this previously. I didn't swap the whole evaporator core, but I took this out and fully cleaned it. And even after cleaning, like, this still doesn't look that good, but it's fine. I did my best originally to clean the styrofoam. And here's the old heater core, or evaporator core, I mean. And you can see I cleaned it, but it's still dirty, and I'm going to take this opportunity to replace the expansion valve, which has previously been replaced by the previous owner, but I have a new one coming in. And you really want to not put your AC system together until the last minute, until you have all your parts, because you want to minimize the exposure of the inside to anything. Now I went ahead and very quickly, this just popped right out of the other side. And I also took off the rubber that was on the pipes. And now we can see what the expansion valve will look like. And I'm not reusing the parts here on the old one, but I do need this hose for the new one. I'm going to take it out, and then we can start cleaning everything and prepping everything until we get the new parts that arrive, so we can put that together, put it in the box, and then put it inside the car. Alrighty guys, so the parts to fix the AC finally came in. We got a new dryer, the expansion valve, some PAG oil. I don't know why they sent 4, I just bought one of them, so I got more for free, I guess. So now we're gonna go ahead and start building that. But before that, this dryer bottle. My current condenser doesn't have the holes for the bracket. It has like this weird clamp mechanism. So what I'm gonna do is, you can see it there, is I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off. Just so we can slide it in there. And just like that, I would just bent it back and forth a little bit, and then it fully came out. Now before I install this expansion valve onto the new core, we're gonna go ahead and grab the old hose that goes connected to it, and we're gonna clean out the inside. I'm gonna do this by spraying brake cleaner inside of it, and then just wiping it down and also replacing the O-rings as needed. So let's do it. Alrighty, so it's been a while, but I took everything off, like I said, and then I went ahead and put the new expansion valve in. All I did was use this simple tool, just a little wrench, and I loosened the old nuts, and I was able to put it on. And then these lines, I was able to loop them like this, just to make them fit as good as possible and tight. Now this one, the metal bracket from the old one, is all rusted, so I'm just going to use a zip tie to hold it on. And this is just a temperature sensor, I think. I also went ahead and for all the O-rings, I got them from this cheap Harbor Freight kit, just whichever ones fit the best. And then inside this little dish right here, which I just flipped over, it actually had I put some PAG 100 oil. This is the oil that's supposed to go in the system. I have a bunch of bottles, so I put a little bit so I could get good lubrication in all the O-rings. And then I assembled it, and I'm making sure not to over tighten, so they're all tightened to a good amount. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go put this back in there, the box, or the new one in there, and then we're going to go ahead and put it in the car. So let's go ahead and do that. Here we go. I use zip ties to put it on. Let's cut them. So now this whole assembly is built. Let's get the box. Here's the bottom of the box. Now really quickly, I do want to grab this, place it on here, and this is already there before to kind of keep it all together. So I went ahead, also added some zip ties and this tar that had already come with my box. If not, it's fine. I'm just gonna go ahead and look through it. Everything looks good. And let's put it in the box. Alrighty guys, so I set it all up. I did have to put this through here, and I would recommend making sure that this tip is straight out, and then you kind of just wedge it into both of these to give enough clearance for it to fit. Now for the other side, here's what it looks like inside the box. And now we're going to go ahead and put the top together, and then we should be able to wrap this up and then put this in the car. Now that I have it held together to an extent by hand, go ahead and grab the clips and just pop them in by hand, just like that. They'll fit in, and we'll work our way all around. And don't forget, we still have the screws we got to put here and then those. So I'm gonna go ahead and do those real quick. That's it. So let's put it in the car. One last thing is, while I was taking it apart, I found a bunch of these little balls that came out of my system. They came out of one of the lines right next to the expansion valve. So they were in the line right here, connected to the expansion valve. And I think what had happened is the previous owner, their dryer probably blew or something, and so the silicone gel balls went all around the system and they got stuck there. So that's probably why my AC didn't work after I reloaded it last time. So now hopefully it works without them. And just like that, I was able to install it. As you guys can see, it's sticking out. And if we look inside here, see the box fully installed. All I did was just slide it in here, make sure that both of the ends go through the holes, and then now what I have to do is I have to add these brackets. I'm gonna add the glove box, the bracket. I'm gonna add all this stuff and wrap up the interior. That way we can just focus on getting the rest of the lines on and then focus on filling the system. Alrighty, so I've gone ahead and installed it. Kind of hard to see, my lights keep dying, so I gotta keep switching them, but you can see I went ahead and installed the bracket up there, as well as on that side I don't have one, so I used some tape. I'll go ahead and see if you guys can see. Looped around it, and I also connected the controller over here. So Now I'm gonna go ahead and put the glove box on. Simple, just 2 bolts or 4 screws, and then we'll put it right back on. And just like that, it's all back together. Evaporator cord's in there. Now I do want to mention, I do want to paint the dash black, and I want to dye the carpet black in the future. So let me know what you guys think. If you prefer the tan, I know what you would want. I really wanted to paint them and dye them, but it's all about time, and right now I'm focused on other things in the car than cosmetics like that.